Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
This is Clayton County first appearance hearing. I'm Judge Brown. I do apologize.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on.
Good afternoon.
It's Clayton County first. All right. I think I fixed it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm Judge Brown. Sorry for the delay. I am one of the senior judges, and technology is whooping my butt. I'm doing the best I can, and I still hadn't finished all the paperwork, but I'm going to go ahead and start. But some people have to wait a little bit longer, and I apologize. What I first need to tell everybody who has criminal charges is that this is the first appearance hearing. And just because you are in custody and in a jumpsuit does not mean that you are guilty or that the court thinks you're guilty. You are presumed innocent of any and all charges unless or until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You have a right to an indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or accusation for misdemeanors. And this is just the official document when someone is charged by the state. You have a right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have a right to see, hear, question, and challenge any witnesses or evidence presented against you. You also have a right to call your own witnesses and subpoena your own witnesses. You also have a right to remain silent. If you choose to remain silent, that cannot be held against you. And you have a right to an attorney. You cannot afford one, the court will appoint one for you. And due to this emergency situation that we're all facing, all persons have been approved by the court for a court-appointed attorney. If you choose to hire your own attorney, all you have to do is let the court know, let the court know or have your attorney file something with the court, and the court-appointed attorney will be released from handling your case. You also need to know that this is first appearance. The purpose of this session of court is for me to advise you of your rights, of your charges, of your bond, of your next scheduled court date, and to determine whether you request and or qualify for court. I'm sorry, disregard that, everybody's qualified. The other thing you need to know is I have reviewed, that's been taking me so long, I have to review everybody's paperwork and I have to review everybody's criminal history to make a determination about the bond I set. It is no need for you to ask me about changing the bond amount. You have been appointed a court-appointed attorney, or you can hire your own. Any discussions about bond going any further, you need to go through your attorney. Because I have taken all this time to review it, I will not change it. And I even hate to say, unless it's an extremely exceptional circumstance, and just forget I said that, because if you're gonna try to bring me one, and I'm gonna say, no, man. So don't ask me about changing the bond. Go through your attorney. Don't try to go into any facts of the case to try to tell me what the officer did or what this person did or what my mama did or what the boyfriend is. I'm not going to be hearing any of that. The purpose of this session of court is only to advise you of what I just said, your bonds, your charges, the next scheduled court date, to determine if you request to advise you that you have an attorney appointed. Also need to let you know there are 3 types of bonds you can make. Property bond. Someone would have to bring the title to their property, and it must be in their name, to the Clayton County Jail. They must sign paperwork through the sheriff's office, pledging that property as collateral for your return to court. In order for a property bond to be approved, the property owner must have 3 times the amount of your total bond, 3 times the amount of your total bond in equity or cash value in that property for the property bond to be approved. For example, if your bond is $2,000, the owner of the property would need to have approximately $6,000 worth of cash clear value in that property so that the county could recover the funds if you failed to return to court. Second type of bond is called a commercial bond. That's going through a bonding company. Bonding companies charge about 15% of the total bond. It could be more, it could be less. You have to talk to a bonding company to get the exact amount. There are also different conditions and personal circumstances. But in general, they charge about 15%. And that 15% is the money they make for being in the business of making bonds available. So you get none of that back at the end of the case. Third type of bond is cash bond. Someone would need to bring the total amount that your bond is, bring that amount in cash to the Clayton County Jail. Through the sheriff's office, they must turn that money in, and the sheriff's office will hold that money until the end of the case. And at the end of the case, all of those monies will be returned, but it must be the total amount in cash in order for it to be accepted. And then that total amount will be returned at the end of the case. Some of you have special conditions on your bond in which you will be ordered not to go back around certain people or places. Should you violate the conditions of this bond order, you could be criminally charged with aggravated stalking. If you make contact with someone and you've been ordered not to, and you make contact in a harassing, intimidating, threatening, or violent manner, you could be charged with a felony called aggravated stalking. If convicted of aggravated stalking, the maximum sentence and/or fine is up to 10 years in jail and/or $10,000 fine. You have a bond condition ordering you not to go back around certain people or places. You will get a copy of that bond order because you will sign for it so that we will have evidence that you have been advised of this condition, so that should you violate it, that evidence would be presented against you. Also, you need to know that if you have a right, there are 2 types of charges or criminal offenses, and it's by the seriousness of the crime. And you probably already know this from watching TV, but a felony is more serious than a misdemeanor. So all persons who are charged with only misdemeanors, you have an opportunity to tell me if you would like to transfer your case straight up to the state court. And by transferring your case up to the state court, in legal terms, it's called waiving your case, or your case is bound over up to the state court. If you make bond, your case is automatically transferred up to the state court. So you might ask, what's the difference between the magistrate court, this court that I'm sitting for, and the state court? The state court is the trial court. And that's where a final determination will be made about your case. The magistrate court, we're not trying to make a determination about proving your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Magistrate court is making the determination that there is a probable cause, meaning the officer had a legitimate legal basis to arrest you based on the probability that you may have committed that crime. The trial court must prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and you're entitled to a jury trial. The other difference is, in magistrate court, the victim more than likely will not be present. They don't have to be present. Also, in magistrate court, also, hearsay evidence is allowed, and also can testify about that. And the standard of proof in magistrate is by probable cause. It's just a probability. So most cases get transferred or bound over at hearing up to the state court. And when they go to the state court, you have the attorney, your attorney there, who should be in touch with you before you have your case before the state court judge. Now it's going to probably be through, the video conference like this, but you will have talked to your attorney before then, and you would, and the prosecutor will be there, and the judge who can make a final determination on the case. So therefore, everybody will be there, and meaning all options are available when you get in front of the trial court judge. And that can be anywhere from dismissal, probation, unity service, trial without a judge, trial without a jury, or a jury trial. All the options are on the table. So if you're charged with a misdemeanor only, you can waive your case today straight upstairs to the trial court, and you will cut down on the time it takes to get there from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. Keeping in mind we have this emergency situation, so it's going to all be dictated by the orders from the governor and from Supreme Court justice. But in general, you will get your trial 3 to 4 weeks earlier than if you waive it, than if you choose not to waive it. By waiving your case, you are not pleading guilty. You are still presumed innocent. You can still get an attorney, which you already have, and you can still make bond. It does not affect your bond at all. It's just simply a means for you to get your case in front of the trial court judge quicker. If you are charged with a felony, you don't have the option to waive your case because those cases are more serious and you have to talk to your attorney first. I'm about to call cases. And as already mentioned, y'all wouldn't believe what I've been going through trying to get this paperwork done. So be kind to me. And normally I'm calling the young ladies first. However, there's a few young ladies I have not gotten to. So I'll let you know, we'll know in a minute, the ones I have not gotten to. And then you will probably have to be on standby, give me a chance to check everything, and I'll call you back up. So, and some men I have not gotten to, but everybody who I've gotten to, I'm getting ready to go through it. You will be called up and I will advise you of your charge. I will advise you of your bond. I will advise you of any bond condition. I will advise you of your next scheduled court date. And if you're charged with a misdemeanor only, I will ask you if you would like to waive your case. Again, if you choose not to waive it, it'll come back to magistrate court and for a probable cause hearing, which is a low standard. And If the officer testifies as to a legal basis for which they found probable cause, it's a good chance it will be sent upstairs to the trial court, and it'll take 3 or 4 more weeks for it to get there. If you waive it, it will go straight there, and you'll be in front of a trial court judge in 7 to 10 days that can make a final determination on your case. Having explained all of that, let me start with.
Y'all please go back inside the cell. Ma'am, go back inside the cell.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before they go, let me swear everybody in on the court-appointed attorney's form.
Okay, hold on, come on back out, come on back out.
I keep forgetting that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've already been given a court-appointed attorney's form, and that's for me to determine if you qualify for court-appointed attorney. You're already qualified because of this virus thing. We're proving everybody, but I still must swear you in for you to acknowledge, or for you to, under oath, state that all the information you put in that form is true. Because if it come back and find that any of that information is false, you could be criminally charged with perjury or false statements. So I have to give this oath. Everybody who's charged and standing in the hallway, please raise your right hand. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the information you put in your court-appointed attorney's form is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? And do you understand if you put any false information in there, you could be charged with a felony, a perjury, or false statement? If you understand this and swear to this, please say, I do. Thank you very much. All right. I'm ready to start with the female paperwork that I finished. If I call you up, please step up. First one I have is Doreen Broad.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm a fan right here.
Okay. Ms. Broadnax, you have 2 charges. First one is criminal trespass, which is damage to property. Your bond is $1,000, and you have a battery of family violence, and your bond is $3,000. Total bond is $4,000, and you have a bond condition to have no contact with William Jones. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, I will, sir.
All right. Would you like to waive your case?
So I'll be honest with you. I do understand what you said, but I really don't understand. 'Cause I ain't never been to jail before. But
Okay. All right. Hold on. You can waive your case and cut down on the time it takes to get to the trial court from 7 to 10 days to from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. By waiving, you are not pleading guilty. You're still presumed innocent. You can still get an attorney, and you can still make bond.
I'm innocent, so I want to fight it. But
Ma'am, I'm not trying to hear a story. All I need to know is if you choose not to waive it, I'm getting ready to give you your court date. So here it is. Stand by.
Sir.
All right. Your court date will be June the 8th.
June 8th.
At 8:30 a.m.
8:30 a.m.
Courtroom 202.
Courtroom 202.
All right. And you're going to sign your bond condition to have no contact. And after that, you can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
Judge, we don't have that.
Say it again.
Fine, right?
We don't have the bond condition.
You don't have bond condition. Well, you have the waiver forms, don't you?
Yeah, we have the waiver forms. Is it on there?
Oh, well. Okay. All right. So I think I was supposed to have sent those back to you, and I have not. So please make a note that this will need to be signed. And I have quite a few that's going to have to be signed. Ms. Sleaford, what's your suggestion on that?
Um, I'll make sure they get signed, I guess, this afternoon,
Okay,
once you send everything over to me.
all right, sorry about that. All right, so Ms. Broadnex, you can go back with the deputy.
All right, Judge, who you got next? And, you want us to have one on standby for you?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Alicia Dukes is next,
Let me get Dukes
and then on standby is Jennifer Harris.
and Harris.
Harris.
Harris, I'm sorry. Dukes and Harris. Dukes and Harris. 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 So, you Harris?
Mhm.
Stand back there by 6. Come on, Dukes, you're gonna come up to the podium. Take the mask off, please.
Okay, you and Ms. Dukes.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Dukes, you have one charge of criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,500. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Javon Austin. And do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're gonna sign your bond paperwork and they're gonna present it to you later for that bond condition to have no contact.
Okay.
Other than that, you can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
All right, what's your phone number? Mask back on, put it up. Oh, gotcha. You take those down. Judge Harris, who you got?
Taja Hayes will be, I'm sorry, Jennifer Harris. This is Jennifer Harris.
Yes, sir.
All right, next is Taja Hayes.
Hey,
Miss Jennifer Harris, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, you have one charge of theft by taking. It's a felony. And your total bond is $15,000. You have a bond condition to not go back to 5111 Old Dixie Road, Forest Park, Georgia, at the Texaco gas station. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes.
Okay, your next court date is June the 9th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. You can go back with the death.
you take your mask off. Oh, you put your mask back on.
All right. After Ms. Hayes is going to be Shakia Hoskins. Ms. Hayes, you have one charge of criminal trespass. Your bond is $3,000. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Gary Locust. And I'm going to allow you to sign your own bond. But you cannot go back around Gary Locust. Do you have any questions about that?
So when I come back from my other court date, is that gonna be like debatable, or is that like not debatable forever?
Okay. I don't know about your other court date. I can just tell you about this. You'll have to talk to your attorney about any of those questions. But for this one charge, criminal trespass, you have a $3,000 bond, and your bond condition is to have no contact with Gary Locust.
Okay.
And I'm gonna allow you to sign your own bond, but you're gonna have to sign this bond condition before you leave. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, if you have no questions, you can go back with the deputy. Hoskins, and Miss Danielle Hill after that. You're Miss Hoskins?
Yes, hey, how you
You can take your mask off.
Miss Hoskins,
Hey, how
you have one charge of criminal trespass, damage to property. And what relationship is Shanti Hoskins to you?
That's my mother,
Your what?
my mother.
Okay, well, you have a bond condition and have no contact with your mother. You can't go back there. You understand that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
You cannot go back around your mother.
Okay.
Your bond is $1,000, and I'm allowing you to sign your own bond. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, when would I sign that?
Just sign it before you leave a few hours, within the next couple of hours.
Okay, that's it.
All right, good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you take it off right now. Just talk to the-
All right, Danielle Hill, after her is Kayana Thomas.
Now take it down.
Ms. Hill,
Yes, sir.
you have two charges,
Yes, sir.
marijuana less than an ounce and possession of drug-related objects.
Yes, sir.
Your bond is $1,500 on each charge.
Okay.
I'm allowing you to sign your bond, your own bond.
Okay.
You will get, you need to stay in touch with the court on your court date and your attorney. Do you
Okay.
have any questions?
How do I do a sign out bond? I never.
They'll tell you. They'll
Okay.
take care of it at the jail.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, Kayana Thomas to come up, and Sierra. Oh, that's the same person. Okay. Nikki Thomas will be next. Nikki Thomas. All right, Miss Kayana Thomas, you have two charges. Both are felonies, and your charge is theft by deception and deposit account fraud. Your bond on both is $10,000 on each for a total of $20,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, your next court date is June the 9th at 8:00 a.m., courtroom 202. If you make bond, you can disregard this court date, not court, but this court date, and you'll get your notice in the mail through your bonding company or through the sheriff's office, depending on how you make bond. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can go back with the deputy. Miss Nikki Thomas. All right, Miss Thomas, you have 7 charges. And you have a bond condition
A bond condition, no.
to have no contact
Oh,
with your wife, Stacy Kearney. And your charges are battery, family violence. The bond is $5,000. 2 counts of simple battery.
Two pounds of what?
Simple battery, they say it alleged you spit on 2 officers. Your bond is $3,500 on each one of those. And then you have obstructing the officer. Your bond is $2,000. And then you have 3 charges of committing a battery with minor children being present. And that's called cruel to the children in the 3rd degree. Your bond is $2,000 on each one of those. So let's see if I can add here. 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. Looks like your bond is about $20,000. And you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
yes.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to have to sign your bond condition, which they'll get to you shortly. And would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
right. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, then you can, you're gonna sign your waiver, and then we'll get to your other paperwork shortly. Thank you. Okay, who is this young lady?
Janaea Beatty.
What's your name?
Janaea Beatty.
Did I call your name?
They say you did.
Okay, all right, let me,
You not finished with our paperwork, Your Honor?
no, that's where I ended with the females, so they have to hold for me.
Okay, all right, come on.
All right, now I'll start with the males.
Okay, law, all you females that's done. Okay. All right, which one you want first, Your Honor?
Okay, uh,
Wait, that's what.
let's start with Jermaine Bagley.
Aggie? Yeah.
Counsel, let me get the two attorneys. Who are your clients? I'll go ahead and call them.
Your Honor, my client is Alfonso Dixon. This is Joseph Turner.
Alfonso Dixon. Oh, yeah, all right. And go ahead, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Andre Johnson on behalf of Jonathan Bowden.
All right, I'll call those two next.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm. Are you Mr. Bagley?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Mr. Bagley, you have 4 charges, and due to your past history, and these all are felony charges, I'm not setting you a bond on either one of your felony charges. You'll have to talk to your attorney about possibly getting you a bond, and you can get a bond before your court date. You just have to talk to your attorney. You're charged with aggravated assault by strangulation, and then you have a bond condition to have no contact with Tanisha Jackson. And the other 3 charges are possession of drugs, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, and possession of drug-related objects. Possession of drug-related objects, I have to set you a bond on that. But you have no bond on the other ones. So your bond on drug-related objects is going to be $5,000. The other 3, you have no bond, and then you have that bond condition. Do you have, and then I gave you a court date. Oh, let me see, it's June the 9th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. So you can go back with the deputy.
Come on over here. Put your hands on the wall, do it, pat down.
Okay, let's see if I have Dixon.
Judge, you going in the order of the first day?
I'm gonna call the attorney's 2 clients, and then I'm gonna go back to the first day. But the Alfonso Dixon should be next.
Dixon, okay. Dixon. Dixon. Take your mask down when you talk.
Okay, are you Mr. Dixon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Dixon, your attorney is present through the video conference, and let me know that he's here representing you. That attorney Turner, you said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Dixon, you have 4 charges. Two are misdemeanors and 3 are hold on a minute. Let me just tell you what they are. You got cruelty to the children, felony, and you have aggravated assault by strangulation, felony. You have no bond on those 2. You have theft by taking, and that is a $2,000 bond. That's a misdemeanor. And you have a cruelty to the children. Minors were present when you committed an act of violence, and that bond is a total of 3 children. Looks like your bond is $5,000 on that. So you have 4 charges. Theft by taking is 2, cruelty to the children is 5, and then cruelty to the children felony is no bond, and aggravated assault by strangulation is no bond. You also have bond condition to have no contact with Maisha Williams and nor your infant son, Mark Dixon, who is alleged that you committed some physical act against that minor child. You have an attorney who I'm sure would make arrangements to talk to you and or the district attorney. But your next scheduled court date is June the 9th at 8:00 a.m. Courtroom 202. Okay. Any questions, Mr. Dixon?
So I won't be able to get out until I go to court.
Well, now you can talk to your attorney about possibly getting the bond before you go to court, but you'd have to do some other things.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Point of note, on the system, it shows both of the cruelty to children as misdemeanors.
Okay, well, they have it up wrong because I have the actual warrant in my hand.
Oh, I'm sure you're right. I'm just asking, which
Okay.
docket number is that?
It's 52031.
52031 is the felony one. All right. Thank you so very much.
Read it, I'll read it.
No, Your Honor, you don't have to read it.
Okay.
We'll keep reading.
All right. Well, thanks for letting us know that, and judicial assistant take note, and the jail should take note. Well, sorry, not the jail, but we'll make the officer, well, whoever put it in the system, we'll correct it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. You can go back with the deputy.
Having nothing further in the court, may I be dismissed?
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, pat him down, Law.
We got you said Mr. Bowden is the name, Counselor?
Yes, Your Honor. Jonathan Bowden. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's Jonathan Bowden next.
Jonathan Bowden. No, Jonathan Bowden. Bowden. When you go up there, just take the mask off about it. What are they for?
Mr. Bowden.
Hey, how you doing, y'all?
Good, good. You have 3 charges. All 3 of them are felonies. You have possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Your bond is $30,000. You have possession of oxycodone. Your bond is $15,000. You have possession of Schedule 2 drug. I cannot read it. Endo something. Your bond $15,000. Your total bond is $60,000, and that has a lot to do with your past history. It's present on the video, Attorney Johnson. So you need to talk to your attorney about possibly getting that bond reduced. But in your next scheduled court date is June the 11th at 8:00 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Courtroom 202.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, counsel, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, thank you very much, and you can be excused. And Mr. Bowden, you can go back with the deputy attorney. He knows what's going on, and he'll be in touch with you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
How do I handle the bond, Your Honor?
Your attorney will talk to you.
Okay, so how do I talk to you, Mr. Johnson?
I'll get with you after this, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Down. I'm over here, they're gonna pat you down.
All right,
All right, Judge, who you need next?
let's go with Joshua Crawford.
Joshua Crawford.
And after that will be Alfonso Dixon.
Crawford. Joshua Crawford. Crawford.
How's it going, Your Honor?
Good, sir, how you be?
I'm working on.
I see. All right, you got one charge of driving a suspended or revoked license. Your bond is $3,000. And do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Say it again.
Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I'm not sure.
Okay, would you like to waive your case?
No.
Would you like to waive your case, transfer it upstairs to the state court, cut down on the time it takes to get there?
Well, if I waive the case, that mean you can set me off longer than 72 days, right?
All right, say it again.
If I waive the case, you can set me off longer than 72 days, right?
I can't understand what you're
I
talking
said if I waive the case, would I be set off longer than 7 or 10 days?
No, it would be within 7 to 10 days.
Well, I still want to try to make bonds, so if I waive it, I still be able to try to make bonds?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Yeah, I'll waive it. I want to see if I can try to make bonds still.
Okay. All right. Well, then it won't stop you from making bonds. All right. Okay. Then they're gonna get the waivers of, well, they have a waiver there now, so you'll sign and you can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
Or here, like sign out on your own recording.
No, your history won't allow me to let you do that. I considered it, but not with your history.
Okay.
Like, go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
Hey, Judge, who you got after that?
Okay, after that is gonna be Antonio Evans.
Antonio Evans.
And then after Antonio Evans will be
Antonio Evans.
Terry Givens.
Is it given?
Evans first, Antonio Evans, and then Terry Givens. You Mr. Evans?
Yes, sir.
Evan, you have 2 charges, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, your bond is $1,500, and drug-related objects, your bond is $1,500. Your total bond is $3,000. Do you think you did? Well, I'm gonna let you sign your own bond. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. I did not understand.
Stay in touch with your attorney and the sheriff's office and the court about your next court date, all right?
Okay,
All right, you can go back with the deputy.
okay.
Terry Gibbons, and then after that, James Harper. You're Mr. Gibbons?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, sir.
Mr. Gibbons, you have two charges. Criminal trespass, your bond is $1,000. And possession of marijuana less than an ounce, your bond is $1,500. Your total bond is $2,500. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Sir, I couldn't hear you, sir.
You think you'll be able to make your bond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. You have a bond condition not to go back to 3640 Grant Road in Ellenwood, Georgia. Any questions about that?
Sir, can I explain?
No. Do you have any questions about the fact you cannot go back? You have to talk to your attorney if you want to explain.
Say, what address was that, sir?
3640 Grant Road,
Okay.
Ellenwood.
Yes, sir.
All right. And would you like to waive your case?
Sir,
Would you like to waive your case?
I couldn't really hear because I was in the back.
Okay, that means it'll get upstairs to the trial court in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks. You'll get to the trial court faster if you waive it.
Okay, Lloyd. Okay, however it goes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I just want to get out, bond out.
All right, well, if this won't prevent you, if you waive it, you can still bond out.
Well, I want to wait. What I'm saying, sir, I couldn't understand what you were saying about the difference between waiving because I was in the back. I couldn't hardly hear.
I just said, if you waive it, you'll get in front of the trial court judge in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, well, it don't matter how long that takes. Yes, sir. As long as I can get out, I'm good.
Okay, if you waive it, you can still get out.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to waive it?
You said 7. Okay, if I waive it, I go later. If I don't waive it, I go early.
No, if you waive it, you go early.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you want to waive it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you're gonna sign your waiver, and then later on they're gonna give you paperwork to sign for you. Bond. All right, James Harper. Mr. Harper, you next is going to be Aquavius Hines. Mr. Harper, you have 3 charges. Possession of cocaine, the bond is $15,000. Drug-related objects, the bond is $5,000, and obstruction is $5,000. Your total bond is $25,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes or no? You're not sure.
No.
Your next scheduled court date is June the 9th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. And like I already mentioned, you've been approved for the court-appointed attorney. You can talk to your attorney about possibly getting that bond reduced. Unless you have any other questions, you can go back with the deputy.
I couldn't hear you, sir.
Unless you have any other questions, you can go back with the deputy. Aquavius Hines. Okay, you Mr. Hines?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hines, you had 3 charges, but also didn't give me enough information, so I dismissed theft by receiving. You need to stay away from guns, sir.
Yes, sir. I will.
You have failure to maintain lane and defective equipment. Your bond on those 2 is $500 each. You are approved for court-appointed attorney, so your total bond is $1,000. You think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to waive your case?
No, sir.
I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Okay.
If you waive it, you'll be in front of a trial court judge in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes, sir. I'll wait.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
You can go back with the deputy and let you sign your waiver.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bobby Ingram. Bobby Ingram and then Charles Irving. All right, you Mr. Ingram.
I'm Irvin.
I'm sorry. You're Irving,
Yes, sir.
Charles Irving.
Yes, sir.
You have 3 charges. And let's see. The charges are use of fighting words. Your bond is 1,500. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The bond is 7,500. And obstructing the officer. The bond is 3,000. So your total bond is $11,000. You think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I think so. So that'll be 11,000 for a bond company.
Yeah, they charge about 15%. Do you think, would you like to wait? I'm sorry, your next court date is June the 9th. Unless you make bond, you'll get the notice in the mail. But if you don't make bond, your next court date is June the 9th
Okay.
at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Unless you have any questions, you can go back with the deputy.
I know, sir. I was just wondering. No, man.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right. All right, I need Bobby Ingram. You, Mr. Ingram? And then I need Nesby Jackson after that. You, Mr. Ingram?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ingram, you have the driving with license expired. Your bond is $500. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure?
Yes.
All right. Would you like to waive your case?
What sense is that, sir?
You'll cut down on the time it takes to get to the trial court from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days if you don't make bond.
I can have my license and back in court in 2 days.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
All right. So I would have set you I would have let you sign your own bond, but I couldn't do it with your history. So sorry about that. Okay, you can go back with the deputy. All right, Nesby Jackson. And then Jermaine.
Sir.
Ray Jones after that. All right, you're Mr. Nesby Jackson.
Yes, sir.
You have 2 charges, simple battery, family violence. Your bond is 5,000, and criminal damage to property. The bond is 3,500. The total bond is 8,500. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Shaquita Griffin. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I'm not sure. How much would it be?
Hold on. Would you like to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you have a question?
Yes, how much would the bond be after all that?
Say it again.
Is it 10% or 15%?
15%, give or take. You have to talk to the bonding company to get the exact amount.
Okay, so it's what you say is 85?
Total bond is 8,500.
Okay.
All right, you can go back with the deputy and you'll sign, they'll get you a bond condition order to sign later. Mr. Ray Jones should be next. And then after that is Trevon Levitt. All right, Mr. Jones, you have a bond charge of sale of heroin. Your bond is 15,000. Your next court date is June the 9th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. You've been appointed a court-appointed attorney, as I mentioned. And you also have, wait a minute. What is this? Okay, this is the same. It's 2 of the same. Okay. Yeah, that's all you have is that. And you have a bond condition not to go back to Walmart on Anvil Block Road. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Is this right? Hold on 1 minute. That's not correct. This bond condition, that shouldn't be on this. Disregard that bond condition. You have no bond condition.
So my bond, you say 15,000, so what did it be like 1,500?
Not good at math. You have to talk to a bonding company. It's normally about 15%. It could be more or less. Depend. Do you, let me see.
Can you tell me?
So, hold on, sir. Did you get, your court date is June the 9th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Your bond is $15,000, and you've been approved for court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
And you say at 8 o'clock?
Yes, June 9th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. If you make bond, you can disregard that court date. You'll get the notice in the mail.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Trevon Lovett is next.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Trevon Lovett.
Yes, sir.
Then Vincent Lyman Jr. You, Mr. Lovett?
Yes, sir.
Lovett, you have a theft by shoplifting charge. You have a $2,000 bond, and I'm gonna let you sign your own bond. You have a condition not to go back to Walmart on Amber Block Road. Do you have any questions about that?
My girl was trying to pay my bond, and we just moved up.
You don't have to worry about it. I'm letting you sign your own bond. You don't have to pay any money.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right, but you got to make sure you come back to court.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're going to sign, or you're going to get a bond order to sign later on, okay, before you get out. All right.
My court date?
You'll get it through the court. The court will send it to you or talk to you, or stay in touch with your attorney.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Vincent Lyman Jr., then Rondell Mitchell. All right, you Mr. Lyman?
Yes, sir.
Lyman, you have 4 charges, and all misdemeanors. And the first one is criminal trespass. Your bond is $5,000. Obstructing the office of the bond is $2,500. Failure to yield the right of way is $500. And battery, the bond is $5,000. The total bond is $13,000. Do you think you better make your bond? Yes or no, you're not sure?
No, sir.
Would you like to waive your case?
No, sir.
If you waive your case, it cuts down on the time it takes to get to the trial court from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. If you waive it, you're not pleading guilty. You're still presumed innocent. You can still get an attorney. You can still make bond. But you don't have to waive it. It's up to you.
Yeah, if I don't waive it.
And you come back to a court, magistrate court, on June the 8th. And if the officer's there and testify that they had a legal basis to arrest you, then your case will be transferred upstairs, and it'll take another 2 or 3 weeks to get up there.
And if I do waive it, you say what's the?
You'll be in front of a trial court judge in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, what you want to do?
I waive it.
All right. You have a bond condition not to go back 637 Old Ivy Chase in Riverdale. Do you have any questions about that?
Where is that?
I don't know, but wherever it is, you need to make sure you don't go back there.
I never even been there. That's what this is about.
This is about criminal trespass. They said that you, without permission of the homeowner, Dominique Gaynor, entered the rear of the premises into a closed fence area and attempted to gain entry through the back door. The homeowner observed you. Anyway, I ain't gonna talk about it. You have an attorney. Talk to your attorney about it. You can go back with the deputy. You can sign your waiver and you go back with the deputy. Rondell Mitchell. And then Demetrius Moore. You, Mr. Mitchell? Good. You got a charge of false manufacturing false ID. The bond is $5,000. It's a felony. The next scheduled court date, unless you make bond, is June the 9th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202.
Said June 9th.
Yes, sir. Courtroom 202. You are approved for court-appointed attorney. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
What is my bond?
5,000.
Yeah, I should be.
Okay, unless you have any questions, you can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Demetrius Moore is next, and then Marcus Payton. Mr. Moore, you have 3 charges. Possession of firearm by a convicted felon, bond is 7,000. Possession of marijuana, less than an ounce, the bond is 1,500. And driving on suspended or revoked license, your bond is 1,500. Your total bond is 10,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not. Yes, no, or you're not sure.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, the next scheduled court date is June the 9th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. And
You said I had 3 charges. What was can you name those 3 one more time for me? I got the gun charge and the suspended license.
driving on suspended license, 1,500. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce, 1,500.
And the gun charge was 1,500 too.
No, the gun charge is 7,000. That's a felony. All right, unless you have another question, you can go back with the deputy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Marcus Payton is next. And then Andrew Samples.
Judge.
Yeah.
Samples is has some medical issues with his quarantine.
Who is?
Samples.
Okay. All right.
So after Samples, I'm gonna get a Wood Blaine.
After Samples, you're gonna get who?
Wood Blaine.
Uh,
Blaine Wood.
I have Jorge Santana.
Santana, he bonded out.
Okay. All right. So
Bonded out as well.
who did?
Shaw Kennedy.
Was he on this the 6th?
Was he on what?
I don't have his name. Maybe it's on the other date.
Nah, all of this is the 6 that I'm calling right now.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at my sheet.
Okay.
Let's see. You said last name Kennedy?
No, last name Shaw.
Spell, please.
SHAW.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, Shaw, I got it. Okay, so you Mr. Payton?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Payton, you have no bond because you're presently on probation, and you got a charge of battery, family violence. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Mackenzie Allen. You can talk to an attorney about getting the bond, getting you a bond. This is a misdemeanor. Would you like to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions?
Who I have probation with?
Well, I don't know. I just have your criminal history, and it says you got 10-year probation, and that 10 years hadn't expired yet.
Oh, okay.
8 or 10 years, I can't remember. Anyway, they'll let you sign your waiver, and then you'll sign your bond condition paperwork later on.
All right.
Good luck to you. Okay. All right, you Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Wood, you have, Wilcox is next. You have 2 charges, criminal trespass, your bond is 2,500, and simple battery, family violence, your bond is 5,000. Your total bond is $7,500. You have a bond condition not to have contact with Jakia Phillips. Do you have any questions about that? Do you think you'll be able to make your $7,500 bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes.
You say yes.
Yes.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you're gonna sign your waiver, and then after that, you'll go back to deputy and they'll get you your bond condition paperwork to sign shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Larry Wilcox.
Hey, Judge, after this one, you want me to start on the 7th?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Wilcox, you have 4 charges. Driving without a license, and your bond is 1,000. Not stopping at a stop sign 500. Failure to obey officer 500, and improper backing. The bond is 500. The total bond is 2,500. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes.
Do you have any questions? Any questions? Okay, you'll sign your waiver, and after that, you'll go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, go to the podium. Come on. You gonna stand right here? Stand right here by the line, put the hand right there. All right, Judge, this is Alan Call. Well, we starting on the 7th.
Okay. All right, Carl Allen.
Sir.
All right. Mr. Allen, I'll tell you what, officer didn't give me enough information, so I had no choice but to dismiss both of your charges. Not that your criminal history allows me, want to do it, but officer didn't give me a choice. So I hope you realize that you don't take advantage of some that you escaping or dodging this bullet and go back out there and put yourself in that same situation. Hopefully you can make better decisions so you won't wind up in jail. But both your charges are dismissed. They should release you unless something else is holding you a little bit later.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I highly appreciate that.
All right, next, go to the podium. All right, here. Go to the podium.
Yeah, you release me.
All right. Jonathan Bowden, oh, we already did that one, I think. Yeah, we did that.
I don't even know you. It's my first time here.
I already did Jonathan Bowden. What about Willie Bradley?
This is the Bradley.
Mr. Bradley, you have 2 charges. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Sure. There it is. Okay. You have 2 charges. And driving defective equipment, the bond is 500, and driving suspended or revoked license, your bond is 1,500.
1,500.
Yes, sir.
Also, I mean, yeah.
Hold on. And you are approved for court-appointed attorney. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I know I can't. I'm on Social Security.
Okay, all right, hold on. Would you like to waive your case?
Yeah, I like to.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, I like to.
Okay, it's being waived. They'll let you sign your paperwork. You can go back with the deputy.
But I like it because I like to sign the bond so I can go out and get my life.
No, I can't let you sign your bond. Your history is got too much history.
I got too much history.
Too much criminal history.
I never been locked up.
Okay, you can go back with the deputy.
Okay,
Talk to your attorney.
Wait, I don't want to wait. I got $1,500 bond.
Okay, if you don't waive it and you don't make bond, then it's going to take 3 or 4 extra weeks for you to get in front of the trial court. If you waive it, you'll be in front of trial court in 7 to 10 days.
No, I don't want to do that. I want you to give me a bond. Can you give me Social Security? Can you just give me the lowest bond that you can give me?
I just gave it to you, sir. If you don't want to waive it, I'm getting ready to give you a court date. You don't want to waive it?
I don't want to wait nothing.
Okay, all right. You can go back with the deputy. Well, I'm sorry, your court date is June the 8th.
June 8th.
It's June the 8th
Jail leave man. You so
at 8:30,
June 8th. Write it down.
courtroom 202.
right, what down?
June 8th, courtroom 202.
All right, you can go back with the deputy.
I can't get man. I ain't
All
got
right,
one
now
there.
come on over here. Come on, next man.
All right, let's see what I got here.
All right, Judge, it's gonna be Calhoun Jody. No, I'm sorry, Brown Theodore.
Right, yeah, hold, let me catch back up here. Let me see where I left off. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Mr. Brown, you have 2, 4, 6 charges. And your court date is going to be June the 11th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. You have June 11th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. You have 1 charge, driving on suspended or revoked license, on $1,500. Failure to exercise due care, which basically means driving on your phone, your bond is $500. Violation of seatbelt, $500. You have possession of marijuana, the bond is $10,000, and possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, the bond is $25,000, and possession of drug-related objects, the bond is $5,000. So your total bond is $47,500. You think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Say again, Judge.
Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I won't be able to make that. If it's more like 20 or 25, I can make it.
Okay, I already said you have to talk to your attorney about any issues related to changing that bond. Unless you have any other questions, you can go back with the deputy.
I kind of have an extenuating circumstance.
I can't hear you.
I said, I kind of have an extenuating
What is
circumstance.
your circumstance?
My mother went to work in New York for the COVID-19. I'm the only one to look after my grandma.
Yeah, you talk to your attorney about that. They can go to the DA and be able to confirm that, and then they can make a decision.
So talk to my attorney.
Yes, I've approved you for a court-appointed attorney.
Okay.
All right, go back with the deputy. Joey Calhoun. Joey Calhoun.
Yes, sir.
And Emmanuel Campbell will be next. All right, Mr. Calhoun, you have 1 charge of criminal damage to property. Your bond is $5,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
All right, you have a bond condition to have no contact with Allison Fletcher.
Yes, sir.
Let's see here. Would you like to waive your case?
No, sir.
By not waiving it, it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks longer to get to the trial court if you don't make bond. If you make bond, if you waive it, you'll get to the trial court in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks. By waiving it, you're not pleading guilty, you're still presumed innocent, and you can still get an attorney and make bond. You sure you don't want to waive it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your next court date then is going to be June the 9th. I'm sorry, June the 11th. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, sir. It's June the 8th, forgive me. June the 8th at 8:30 a.m. Courtroom 202.
And the bond is 5,000, sir?
Yes, sir. And you have a bond condition to have no contact with Allison Fletcher. Okay, unless you have any other questions, you can go back with the deputy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, Emmanuel Campbell. And after that is Ronzier Davis. Campbell, you have possession of a weapon, person under 18, and obstructing of law enforcement officer. You have $1,000 bond on each one. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
And you are approved for court-appointed attorney. Would you like to waive your case?
You said, would I like to raise my case?
Yes, sir. You send it upstairs to the trial court to cut down on the time it takes to get there from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. By waiving, you're not pleading guilty, you're still presumed innocent, you can still get an attorney, you can still make bond.
And that's if I waive it?
Yes, sir. If you don't waive it, then I'll give you a court date of June the 9th. And if you come back to court, well, if you make bond, it's gonna be waived anyway, but if you don't make bond, you come back on June the 9th. Sorry, June the 8th. And then the officer, if they testify they had a legal reason, a basis to arrest you, then unless you can dispute it or disprove it, it's going to be bound upstairs to the trial court, and it'll take another 2 or 3 weeks to get up there.
So it's a possibility I can wait till my next court date?
Yeah, you can, if you want, if you don't want to waive it, then I'll just put you that June 8th court date.
June 8th court date.
Say it again.
I'll take the June 8th court date.
All right. So that would be your court date, June 8th. And you can go back with the death.
And what's my bond?
Total $2,000.
What's the time of my court date?
8 o'clock.
I should see right.
All right, next man, go to the podium.
All right, that's Mr. Davis.
Yes, sir.
Edward Douglas will be next. All right, Mr. Davis, you have quite a few charges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 charges. All right, so improper passing, the bond is 500. Hit and run, 1,500. Red light violation, 500. Stop sign violation, 500. Reckless driving, 1,500. Improper U-turn, 500. Violation of driving center of turn lane, 500. Obstructing an officer, 3,000. Theft by taking a motor vehicle, 15,000. Fleeing from police, 5,000. Improper lane change. Proper lane change. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry. My mistake. Let me go back. Theft by possession. Theft by taking is a motor vehicle is 15. Possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime is 5. Fleeing from police is 2,500. Improper lane change is 500. Speeding, 500. Wrong side of the road, 500. And no license, 1,000. And don't ask me to figure all that out, but I can tell you now it's 20, 25, somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 is your total bond. Your next scheduled court date is June 11th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202.
Thank you, sir.
All right, good luck to you. Edward Douglas is next. Then Michael Haney Jr. after that. All right, Mr. Douglas, you have a criminal trespass charge. Your bond is $1,000. And you have a Okay, 1 second here. All right, so you have a bond $1,000. Do you think you can make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to waive your case?
I'm sorry.
Would you like to waive your case? Send it upstairs to the trial court. It take cut down on the time it takes to get there from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. By waiving, you're not pleading guilty. You still can make a bond, and you can still get an attorney, and you're still presumed innocent.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
If I can make the bond today, like if I have the money on me, can somebody come, like, get my?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
And like, what would be the process to go?
They'll tell you at the jail. All that happens at the jail.
Yes, sir. All right. And like the date, time, and room number for my court date.
Since you waived it, they'll get it to you because it's going to transfer it upstairs and we don't have their calendar.
All right. And
you'll sign your waiver with the deputy. Michael Haney Jr. And after that, it'll be Tory Heinzman. Okay, Mr. Haney, you have 4 charges. Battery, family violence, your bond is $5,000. Actually, you got 2 counts of battery, family violence. And you have a bond condition, have no contact with China Jolly. Then you have criminal damage to property. The bond is $3,500. And cruelty to the children, the bond is $3,500. The total bond is $17,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. I'll just have to use the telephone.
Okay, would you like to waive your case?
Are all 4 misdemeanors?
It looks like they are.
Yes, sir.
All right, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then you can go with the deputy and they'll let you sign your waiver, and then they'll let you sign your other paperwork as soon as I get it over there for your bond condition.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Jackson Kirby.
All right, Mr. Heinzman? Are you Mr. Heinzman?
This is Mr. Hunter.
Hunter, okay. Can we do Tory Heinzman next?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. You're Mr. What's your first name?
Kadari.
Okay, Ms. Sleeth, if you're listening, this didn't I have you on Tuesday?
Yes, you have me on Tuesday.
Okay, so I'm wondering if these are some duplicate charges because I got Ms. Sleeth, I need to check this because.
Yes, sir. I'm looking it up now.
All right, so we'll double check, but for now, Ms. Hunter, I'm gonna go ahead because I don't see, only thing I have for a bond is 1 count of terroristic threat. And that's bond condition to have no contact with Paris car. And that's the last 5 digits of that case number is 52086.
Judge Brown.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. He was on Tuesday for a different offense, so this is a new charge.
Yeah, but he has, they sent me the paperwork. Can you check and make sure these are the ones I handled the other day, which I think I did? Because I think they printed out on the calendar, 52086 is a warrant number. I'm sorry, that's this one, disregard that. This is a battery, family violence.
Yeah, that's what I was up.
Right.
Okay, so I can discard that one, 54550.
Correct.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, then I have another obstruction, which is WA 07786.
And you can disregard that. That one on Tuesday.
Okay.
It's just the terroristic threats for today.
All right. All right. So, Mr. Hunter, you have there's 1 count of terroristic threats. Your bond is $5,000. No contact with Paris. And this is a misdemeanor terroristic threat. Would you like to waive your case?
So it's a misdemeanor.
Yes.
If I waive it, that means I'll be in court 7 to 10 days.
Right.
I don't want to waive it.
Okay. Ms. Sleeth, what's the court date for the other one? It's probably June the 9th.
And you didn't never give me a court date. Well, the other one is on Tuesday.
Yeah, it would be June 9th, but I said all those are June the 9th. So I'm gonna put this one at June the 9th at 8 o'clock. Courtroom 202.
So this is for the battery, family violence.
No, this one today is just for terroristic threats. The other ones of what I told you the other day.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna sign your bond paperwork once I get it over to you. This new paperwork, so you can go back with the deputy. All right, Kirby Jackson Jr. Then Michael Jackson after that. All right, you Mr. Kirby Jackson Jr.?
No, Heinzman.
Heinzman. Oh, okay, let's see. Okay, I got you. Mr. Heinzman, you have 3 charges: improper backing, the bond is 500. No license, the bond is 1,000. And obstructing the office of the bond is 3,500. Your total bond is $5,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure?
No, no, sir.
All right, would you like to waive your case?
Ma'am, sir.
Waiving your case, you can send it straight upstairs to the trial court, and it'll cut down on the time it takes to get there from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days. By waiving, you're not pleading guilty, you're still presumed innocent, you can still get an attorney, you can still make bond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You say yes?
Yes.
All right, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you can step to the side and sign your waiver and you'll go back to the deputy. Thank you. All right, are you Mr. Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Kirby Jackson?
Yes, sir.
All right, Michael Jackson is next. All right, Mr. Kirby Jackson, you have 2 charges. Your bond is possession of a handgun by a person under 18 and obstructing the law enforcement officer. The total bond is $2,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
You said like all together is 2,000?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can make.
Okay. Would you like to waive your case?
Sir, you explain to me if I waive my case, what that means?
If you make bond, your case is going to be sent upstairs to the trial court and you'll get notice in the mail. If you don't make bond, by waiving it, you'll get in front of the trial court judge in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks. And by waiving it, you're not pleading guilty. You still presume innocent. You can still get an attorney and you can still make bond.
So if I don't waive it,
if you don't waive it, then it'll come back to magistrate court on June 8th. And if the officer comes in and testifies to them having a legal basis to arrest you, then it'll be reset again upstairs to the trial court and take 2 or 3 more weeks to get up there.
also I had to return back to jail.
Well, if you make bond, then it doesn't matter because the case is automatically transferred upstairs. But if you don't make bond, you'll come back to this court, to magistrate court, and if the officer testifies and have a legal basis, then it'll be transferred upstairs. Then you have to wait 2 or 3 more weeks before you go back to court for the trial court. If you waive it, then you just go straight to the trial court in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks, if you're still in jail.
I'd rather do the first one.
You want to waive it, yes or no?
No, I don't want to waive it.
Okay, your court date is going to be June the 8th. 8:30. Courtroom 202. Now, keep in mind, if you make bond, your case is automatically transferred upstairs to the court, and you'll get the notice in the mail, all right?
Okay.
Thanks, sir. You can go back with the deputy. Michael Anthony Jackson is next. And then Marcus Jones will be next. Mr. Jackson, you have one count of criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,500. You have a bond condition to have no contact with your son, Kevis Moore. And do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure?
Yes, sir, I can make that.
All right, would you like to waive your case?
No, I don't want to waive it.
All right, your court date is June 8th at 8:30, courtroom 202. And we'll get your paper over so you can sign your bond condition shortly. Unless you have any other questions, then you can go back with the deputy. All right, Marcus Jones, and then Urban Lodeholt.
All
right, good, sir. All right. Sir, you have one count of family violence order violation, making contact in violation of order to make no contact. Your bond is $7,500. You have a bond condition to have no contact with James Hill or Maria Henderson. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure?
How much you said?
$7,500. Would you like to waive your case?
No.
Okay, by not waiving your case, it comes back on June the 8th. June the 8th at 8:30, courtroom 202.
June 8:30. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're gonna sign your bond condition when I get the paper over there.
Oh, you right over there.
All right, load hope. After that, I have a few females, and then I'll have to get back to the paperwork.
Okay. Well, you want me to females judge or?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's only 3 or 4, and I'll go ahead and tell you, since it's only 3 or 4, Baity, Baity.
Okay.
Cordy, Cordy, all these hard. Beatty, Cordy, and Hardy.
I got you. So you're gonna see those 3 next?
That's BC. No, that's yeah. Those 3 next.
Got you.
All right, Mr. Lodeholt, you have 3 charges. First one, aggravated assault. You have no bond on that charge, and you have a bond condition to have no contact with Shanika Washington. You have the simple battery family violence. Your bond is $5,000. You have criminal trespass. Your bond is $3,000. Your next court date is June 11th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. You have a bond condition. We'll get that paper so you can sign it shortly. Do you have any questions? All right, you can go back with the deputy.
Baby, you take this back down.
Go on, sir.
Yeah, you know the prison, all right? Who's David? Come on over here, you gonna come to the podium? Who's Courtney? Come on over here.
Hello
You gonna
again.
stand right here?
Hey, young lady.
How are you?
Good. All right, you have 2. You say again, when did you see me? Today?
Yes, sir. You had sent me back.
Right, okay. So you have 2 charges, 2 counts of criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,000 on each one. You have bond condition to have no contact with Douglas Elwood and India Reeves. Do you have any questions about that?
No, sir.
Would you like to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're gonna sign your waiver paperwork and we'll get the bond condition paperwork over to you as soon as possible. Good luck to you.
You said, oh,
Ms. Kenya Cordy.
Yes, how are you?
Good, Cordy, you have 3 charges. You have 2 felonies. One is possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. The bond is 10,000. And possession of marijuana over an ounce, the bond is 5,000. And improper lane change, the bond is 500. Your total bond is 11,000. Your next court date is June 11th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. You are approved for court appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, all of it done.
How much can I pay to get out?
It depends on, if you go through bonding company, they charge about 15%.
Would you know how much that is?
Nope, you have to talk to the bonding company. Okay, you can go back with the debt. Good luck to you. Leonia Hardy. All right, Ms. Hardy, you have 1 charge of hit and run accident. Your bond is $1,500. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
yes,
All right, would you like to waive your case?
yes.
Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you can step to the side and sign your waiver.
All right, Judge, where we at now?
Okay, I need to get the rest of them done. So I apologize for another delay here.
Okay.
I'll try to get these. Anyway, let me let you know something in the next 30 minutes. I should be hopefully ready to go with the next 30 minutes.
All right, Judge.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Ms. Amir, you hear me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Boy, I tell you.
You're still live.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna call you.
All right.
All right. Hello, Judge, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, which one, you wanna do the females or which one, the males?
Let's do female.
All right, can you get the two females?
Melody Mason is one I have first.
Yes, sir. Mason. Who's Mason? Go to the podium. Next one, you gonna come on over here. Yes, sir. I'll take your mask off and talk to the judge. Come on. Stand right there.
Okay, you Miss Mason?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second here. Then how many more females do you have?
That's it, Judge, just those two.
Okay. All right, Miss Mason, you have one charge of simple battery. Your bond is $3,500.
Okay.
You have a bond condition to have no contact with Mark Phillips. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure?
I'm not sure.
All right. Would you like to waive your case?
No.
Okay, by not waiving your case, it's going to come up in June the 8th. And if you can't make bond and you can't, an officer comes in and testifies that they had a legal reason to arrest you, not prove your guilt, but then it's going to be reset for 2 or 3 more weeks if you're not able to make bond. If you waive it, you'll be in front of a trial court judge in 7 to 10 days if you're unable to make bond.
Okay, can I waive it then?
You can. Okay. And you're going to sign your bond condition once I get the paperwork over to the jail to have no contact with Mark Phillips. You have any questions about that?
No.
All right, I've approved you for court appointed attorney. So you can go back with the deputy and sign your waiver.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, ma'am, your name is
Ilea Willis.
Willis?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Willis, you have 2 charges. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce, the bond is $1,500, and possession of drug-related object, which is $1,500. Who do you live with?
I'm staying with a friend right now. I'm in transit.
You don't have an address?
No, I've been working on that. I'm supposed to be getting one in Pine Brook and Riverdale. I'm working on a security deposit as we speak.
I was gonna let you sign your own bond, but if you don't have an address, a place to stay, it's gonna be hard because we can't get any notices to you.
I put one down. I put the address that I'm staying at my friend's house. I did put her address down earlier for the court magistrate paper that I signed.
Okay.
They put her address.
Are you sure you can still stay there?
Yes, I'm positive.
All right, well, I'm gonna let you sign your own bond. And so you can go, well, do you want to waive your case?
No.
It's not gonna matter because you making bond is gonna get waived anyway. So you can go back with the deputy. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
All right, let's go with
Go to the podium, Scott.
we should have Maurice Rice next. Your name, sir?
Maurice Rice.
And next will be George A. Rodriguez.
Judge, Rodriguez is gonna need an interpreter, so I'll hold them for last.
Wish we had known that in the beginning. I should have asked. I don't even know if we have anybody available now. Okay, all right. Mr. Mayor, you're gonna check.
Yes, sir. I'm about to email.
All right. All right, Mr. Rice, you have 3 charges. And The first one is improper display of tag. The bond is 500. And the second one is false name. The bond is 2,500. The third one is driving suspended or revoked license. The bond is 1,500. Your total bond is 4,500. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
I'm pretty sure I will. That's 451. Want to be $150 together.
Well, it's 15%, give or take, but you have to talk to the bonding company to get the exact amount. Would you like to waive your case?
With 6 or 7 days.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
On the improper display, what?
You have to talk to your attorney about that.
Yes, sir.
If they talk to you about your case, you have to talk to your attorney about that. Okay, he'll sign your.
Yeah, he's gonna sign it right now, Judge.
All right, we're skipping Rodriguez and going to Antonio Scott. You, Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, you have one count of criminal damage to property, and you have, it's a felony. And your bond is $5,000. And you have a bond condition to have no contact with Portia Bowens.
Yes, sir.
Court date is June 11th, 8 o'clock, court 202. Do you have any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you're gonna sign your paperwork for bond condition when we get it over there shortly. So you can go back with the desk and good luck.
Okay.
Robert Shepard. Mr. Shepard, you have one count of possession of a weapon, person under 18, your bond is $1,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond?
Sir?
Do you think you'll be able to make your bond?
Yes, sir.
You ever been arrested before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your bond's 1,000, and would you like to waive your case?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you can go back with, you can sign your waiver and you'll go back to the deputy. Good luck to you. Travius, you Mr. Taylor?
Yes, sir.
You have 4 charges. And one of them is a felony. And your court date is June 11th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. The court date June 11th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Your charges is possession of marijuana less than an ounce. The bond is $1,500. Theft by receiving stolen property, the bond is $5,000.
You said theft by receiving?
Yeah, theft by receiving stolen property. And then driving without a license, $1,000. And improper backing, $500. Do you have any questions?
You said my so I got a bond?
I just gave it to you. Possession of marijuana is $1,500. Theft by receiving stolen property is $5,000. Driving with no license is $1,000, and improper backing is $500. Okay. Unless you have any more questions, you can go with the deputy.
You said June 11th, right?
Say it again.
Yeah, June 11th, right, for the court date, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 8 o'clock.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, you and Mr. Wendell Warren,
Correct, sir.
you have 2 charges, battery, family violence, and criminal damage to property. The bond is 4,000 and 3,000, total of 7,000. You have a bond condition to have no contact with Shantae Ross.
Okay.
And the damage to property is a felony. Your court date is June 11th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Do you have any questions?
Room 202?
Yes, sir.
No, that'll be all, sir.
All right, you can go back to Deputy. Good luck to you. All right, you, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have 7 charges. You don't have a bond at this time, but you can talk to your attorney about a bond. All 7 of your charges are felonies, and they deal with drugs and alleged stolen property and alleged gang activity. And based on your history and all of that, there's no bond at this time, but you can talk to your attorney about getting you a bond before your court date, which is scheduled for June 11th at 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. And specifically, you have 2 charges of possession of drugs. You have 3 charges of theft by receiving stolen property. And I think all of these are weapons, I think. And then the other one is 2 counts of participating in criminal gang activity. So you got a total of 7 charges, no bond on anything, but you are approved for court-appointed attorney, and they can try to get you a bond before that court date. Do you have any questions?
Has the fact that I've been incarcerated since January 2nd been taken into consideration?
I can't take it into consideration because I don't know how long you've been incarcerated, but that's something you talk to your attorney about, and they can go talk to the DA.
Do I know my attorney?
Well, no, I just appointed you one first, so they have to get on the list and then appoint you one. But they'll make contact with you once they get assigned.
All right.
Okay, sorry, I know you've been in for a while because of this corona thing. It's got everybody in bad shape.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Harold Winfrey.
Yes, sir.
Winfrey, you got 3 charges: possession of marijuana less than an ounce. The bond is 1,500. And possession of drugs.
Ready for action.
Possession of drugs, the bond is 10,000. And improper tag, the bond is 500. Your total bond is $12,000. Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, sir.
Do you think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right, your next, if you make bond, you can disregard this court date. You'll get the notice in the mail or through your bonding company. But this court date is June the 11th, in case you don't make bond, June 11th, 8 o'clock, courtroom 202. Your bond amount for the marijuana is 1,500. For possession of drugs, it's called, and I say ecstasy pills, the bond is 10,000. And improper display of tag, the bond is 1,000, I'm sorry, it's 500. So your total bond is $1,200. You think you'll be able to make your bond? Yes, no, you're not sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you make bond, then you can disregard this court date and stay in touch with your bonding company or court. Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Can I get a phone call?
So you have to do that on the sheriff and the deputies. They handle all of that.
All right.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Judge, this is Rodriguez.
Okay, all right, so let me get that paperwork back here. Hey, Ms. Toles,
Hey, good afternoon, Judge.
how have you been?
I have been well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. All right, let's see where I put that paper at. Rodriguez. Here it is. All right. Let me administer the interpreter's oath. Solemnly swear affirm you will translate English to Spanish, Spanish to English, the proceedings before the court in an accurate manner to the best of your skill and knowledge.
I do. What is our defendant's name, Your Honor?
Jorge Rodriguez.
Thank you.
And Mr. Rodriguez, my name is Judge Richard Brown.
Señor Rodriguez, yo soy el juez Richard Brown.
And this is called a first appearance hearing.
Y esta vista se llama una comparecencia inicial.
You are charged with driving without a license.
A usted se le acusa de manejar sin licencia.
And your bond is $1,000.
Y tiene una fianza a $1,000.
You'll be able to make your bond, yes, no, you're not sure.
¿Va a poder depositar fianza, sí, señor? Sí, no, o no está seguro.
Eso es lo que le quería decir, por favor. A ver si me daba permiso, bueno, el señor, pues, de salir, porque mi papá está enfermo y no pueden venir a pagar la fianza.
If I could be allowed to get out because my father...
No, let me interrupt. No, that's not the question. The question is, I forgot what it was. Do you think you'll be able to make your $1,000 bond, yes or no?
Perdone, señor, que le interrumpa, pero le quería hacer la pregunta. ¿Piensa que sí va a poder depositar la fianza de $1,000? Sí, no, o no está seguro? Yes.
All right. You know, if it wasn't for your history, I would probably let you sign your bond, but your history is just not, it's just, I can't even comment on it.
Si no fuera por los antecedentes penales que tiene, probablemente permitiría que usted firmara su propia fianza, pero no se lo puede permitir por sus antecedentes.
But you are presumed innocent of the charge and you have a right to have a trial.
Pero usted sí está presunto inocente de la acusación.
You are presumed innocent of the charge until the state, or until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Y usted quedará presunto inocente hasta que el Estado pruebe su culpabilidad fuera de una duda razonable.
You can make bond through a bonding company. They charge about 15%.
Y usted puede depositar fianza a través de una compañía de fianzas. Ellos cobran alrededor de un 15%.
You can make a property bond, but somebody would have to bring the deed to their property to the Clayton County Jail and sign that property as collateral for your return to court.
Podría también tramitar su fianza con propiedad, pero alguien tendría que presentar la escritura del inmueble a la comisaría de Clayton para utilizar la propiedad como garantía de su fianza.
Or if somebody had the total amount of $1,000 cash, they could come down and pay that, turn that money into the sheriff's office and get all that money back at the end of the case.
O si hay alguien que cuenta con el total de la fianza, los $1,000 en efectivo, podría ir a pagar la fianza en la comisaría del condado de Clayton y luego cuando el caso se termine, se le devolverá todo el dinero pagado.
I have approved you for a court-appointed attorney.
Ya lo aprobé, señor, para un abogado de oficio.
So any questions about your bond or what you were trying to explain earlier, you would need to talk to an attorney to explain that to the district attorney.
Cualquier pregunta que tiene sobre su fianza o lo que usted quería explicarme anteriormente, se lo puede explicar a su abogado de oficio.
Sí, para que a ver.
No, not yet. I'm going to let you say something in a minute.
Todavía no. Espere un momentico, señor.
As I mentioned, you're presumed innocent of all charges.
Usted será presunto inocente de todas las acusaciones.
You have a right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Tiene derecho a un juicio público y sin demora ante un juez o ante un jurado.
You have a right to see, hear, question, and challenge any witnesses called against you.
Tiene derecho a ver, escuchar, retar y interrogar todo testigo que se presente a declarar en su contra.
You have a right to present your own witnesses.
Tiene derecho a presentar sus propios testigos y pruebas.
If you need a witness, you can get a subpoena.
Si necesita un testigo, puede conseguir un citatorio para uno.
You also have a right to remain silent. You don't have to say anything. The burden of proof is on the state to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
También tiene derecho a permanecer callado, no tiene que decir nada. Es la obligación del Estado probar su culpabilidad fuera de una duda razonable, señor.
You also have a right to waive your case straight upstairs to the trial court.
También tiene derecho a renunciar su audiencia para que vaya directamente al tribunal de primera instancia.
By waiving your case, you are not pleading guilty.
Al renunciar, no se está declarando culpable.
You're still presumed innocent.
Todavía sería presunto inocente.
You can still get an attorney,
También podría tener su abogado,
which I have already appointed you one,
el cual ya le nombré.
and it doesn't affect your ability to make bond.
Y renunciar tampoco afecta su habilidad para poder salir bajo fianza.
By waiving your case, you cut down on the time it takes to get to the trial court from 7 to 10 days. I'm sorry, from 3 to 4 weeks to 7 to 10 days.
Al renunciar, usted reduce el tiempo que se tarda para que su causa llegue al tribunal de primera instancia. En lugar de tardar de 3 a 4 semanas, será en 7 a 10 días hábiles.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta, señor?
No, ninguna.
No, none.
Would you like to waive your case?
¿Quisiera usted renunciar su causa?
Renunciar, no, pues sí soy culpable de no tener licencia.
Well, waive no, I am guilty of not having a license.
De problema.
Don't make statements, but if you want to enter a plea, then you need to get to the trial court.
Mejor no hagas declaraciones. Si usted quiere declararse a las acusaciones, tendrá que hacerlo en el tribunal de primera instancia.
And in order to get to the trial court, the quickest you can waive your case and you'll get there in 7 to 10 days instead of 3 to 4 weeks.
Y la manera más rápida para llegar al tribunal de primera instancia es renunciando su causa. Si renuncia, en lugar de tardar de 3 a 4 semanas, será en 7 a 10 días.
You want to waive your case?
¿Quisiera renunciar su causa, señor?
Renunciar, no, pues sí soy culpable de cosas de ese problema de lo que me puse que es no licencia.
Well, waiving no, because I am guilty of the problem of not having a license.
Tratar de hablar con mi familia para que me consigan el dinero.
I need to speak with my family so they can get the money for me.
Or listen carefully. By you sitting here saying you're guilty, when you go, the court date that you're resetting it back to, they're not going to be able to accept your guilty plea because it's not the trial court.
Escuche con atención, señor. Usted está aquí diciéndome que sí es culpable, pero la audiencia que ya tiene programada, usted no puede declararse culpable en esa audiencia.
Just get reset again.
Solamente la causa quedará postergada nuevamente.
That's my last time trying to explain it. If you don't want to waive it, say no. If you want to waive it, say yes.
Es la última vez que intento explicárselo. Si no quiere renunciar, diga no. Si quiere renunciar, diga sí.
Si renuncio, sí. O sea, pues,
Yes, I'll waive, yes.
Okay, all right, unless you have any other questions, which you need to ask your attorney, but any other questions about this procedure, then you can go back with the deputy and sign your waiver.
Bueno, a no ser que tenga más preguntas, las preguntas se las dirige a su abogado, pero si tiene alguna pregunta sobre esta diligencia en particular, si no, se puede retirar, señor.
sí, está bien, gracias. Nomás una llamada por teléfono.
Yes, that's fine, thank you. I
All
would
right.
only like a phone call, please.
Talk to the deputies about that.
Está bien, pídaselo al señor de la cárcel.
Sí, está bien.
Good luck to you.
Buena suerte, señor.
Gracias.
That'll do it for Ms. Toes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good to see you.
Same here. I got a prayer in coming Sunday for Ms. Barbara.
Oh, I certainly appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
All right. Be safe.
You too. Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, Ms. Deputy, we got it. We got a few things I got to get to you or get from you. Sorry for the delay, but I'm gonna get right on it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hang up and talk to Miss Amira, and she's gonna let me know
what you need. Okay.
need and what order to do it, but I can promise you I'll be getting it done as soon as possible.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
That one of the inmates you all said was in medical, are we not doing him today?
Yeah, they brought him out.
He's quarantined.
Oh, I thought that he came out.
Nah, we didn't do samples.
Oh, thank you, Amir, for checking that. All right, so he's in quarantine.
Yes, sir.
You know, we have that form that we told the time, which
Yes,
is
sir.
already told anyway. So I guess we'll do it on that one. Okay, so have we, you're gonna send us the waiver forms?
Yes, sir. We're gonna do that right now.
Okay, and then I'm gonna send the bond condition. Anyway, we'll get everything done, hopefully within the next 30 minutes or so.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for your help.
Thanks a lot, Judge.
All right. Hi, Mr. Mayor. I'll get you on the phone.
Yes, sir.
All right, hanging up. I'm signing off. This concludes first appearance hearing today for May 7th, 2020. Apologize for the delay. Over and out.